Yo, welcome back to Dolphins United, the platform for Dolphins. You heard me. I'm here with my blood brother, Dwight. We're going to go ahead and I figured I had to bring some more people on. Well, not some more people on, at least bring my brother on so we could go over the preview. We getting ready, for the season. The season is coming. Finally, we are here. All right, we about to have training camp for the next 4 or 5 weeks. About to get information daily when they are practicing anyway. We're about to get information daily, hearing how Tua's doing, hearing how everybody else is doing. All right, so can't wait to give y'all these videos. Can't wait to see what our team is going to do this year. All right, maybe playoffs, maybe Super Bowl. I don't know. But we're here to talk about all of that. All right. Dwight is here with me. We're going to go through some things, but before we get into the preview, let's talk real quick about Deshaun Watson coming back into the fold. The man showed up to camp. All right, so now, of course, we're going to hear the noise has stopped, but now we're going to hear all this talk again about the Miami Dolphins and Deshaun Watson, and then also bringing Xavier into it now. All right, bringing Xavier into it, saying that they could trade player for player plus picks on our end to them. All right. So how do you feel about, first and foremost, how do you feel about Deshaun Watson going to Miami? How do you feel about that right now?
I mean, I feel the same about it, to be completely honest, man. I mean, it's been such so much drama surrounding that whole situation. You don't know what to believe anymore, man. But I think the craziest thing that just came out, whether it was today or yesterday, was that they talking about 5, picks, or a combination of 5 high draft picks or high talented players included. That's a high price to pay for Deshaun Watson. Now, I know that he's a premium athlete. Some could argue top 10, top 5 player in the league last year. Whatever, you can call it whatever you want. He's dynamic. He does make us I would say darn near Super Bowl contender if we do add him to the roster. But at the same time, that's a lot of quality draft picks you're sending their way. Obviously, you do have to make the draft picks. You do have to make the choices, and they have to pan out. But that's a lot to send for Deshaun Watson. So I'm kind of the same. No new news has come out about it. Of course, it's going to ramp back up right before, Tua gets his chance to prove himself in training camp and in the preseason and, moving forward. But I'm kind of excited about the team more so than, adding Deshaun. I got something going on with my eye right now. But excuse me. But, yeah, I'm more so excited about the team than this whole Deshaun thing. People really want Deshaun, but it is what it is.
Okay. All right. And while you adjusting your eye there, let me go ahead and interject my 2 cents. I was banging the table for Deshaun Watson before. All right, if you watch my videos before, banging the table for the man. Ever since all that stuff came out about the whole massage and all that, I took a step back. We got to let the legal process play out. I'm not saying he did anything. I'm not saying he didn't do anything. I really don't even care to get into that because the legal side will take care of itself. But when it comes to trying to pick up Deshaun Watson right now, I just don't think it makes any sense. Now, I will say this. All right, maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't. Tua got about a week. All right. If Tua start throwing interceptions like he was in that mini camp, that first one, that 5 interception practice or session, he started doing stuff like that in the first week. Oh, best believe it's going to be some calls made. All right. What was a 3rd round pick might be a 1st round pick now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, they're going to start making some moves. We already know they need at least 2 or 3 first-round picks if X is not a part of the deal. All right, we know that. All right, they're going to need 2 or 3 first-round picks, probably a 2nd, 2 3s, a 4th, whatever they're going to need. Some crazy stuff, all right? So just some of those picks where they're a little lower, them numbers are going to go up a little higher if Tua is struggling because they're going to want Tua, all right? So if Tua is struggling, that's going to be a problem. But now if Tua is balling out, we don't even need Deshaun Watson at that point. But if Tua is struggling, it's going to make it a lot harder to get Deshaun Watson. So if they're not willing to pull the trigger now, which I don't think they are, then Tua better be balling out. Because if he's not balling out, they might not even want the man no more. Or if they do take him, he's going to have way less value than he would right before training camp. So I don't personally want to take Deshaun Watson on right now myself because I just feel like we don't know what's going to happen. We could end up getting to the Super Bowl or something like that, and then he can't play because he's indicted. You just don't know. It's just too much of a risk. You keep Tua for the year. You find out what's going on with Deshaun. Let that process play out. If Tua is not holding up his end and is not doing well enough, then next year you try to go get Deshaun Watson if he's still available. That's how I see it.
Yeah, to me that sounds more realistic. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've put all the chips in the middle of the table on Tua so far. The Cole C's, the playbook. From what we hear, you've drafted players that are more tailored towards liking, and Jalen Waddle. You picked up a Will Fuller. You know what I'm saying? You got slot receivers on roster that are like what Tua needs. You know what I'm saying? And what Tua likes. He likes to target the slot. And that's what you have on your team. Albert Wilson. You got those type of players, Lynn Bowden, however you say that. So to think that they would be, I'm not saying that they wouldn't move on from Tua right now, but I just don't think it makes sense being that they've made all these moves to, work with him, to get that ball rolling in terms of his progression. So it's not out. We're not out of the woods in terms of the Watson thing, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. Especially that we don't know what the legal side looks like. It's not going away anytime soon. And I think even if Tua has above average camp, the talks are not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Which I expect them realistically to have an above average camp. Better than he showed last year. Better than probably what he showed in the mini camps, but still not. You know what I'm saying? He's a second year quarterback. If he looks elite, right now, I don't want to hear nothing about Deshaun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. But I doubt he's going to look elite, you know what I'm saying, in this training camp. It's to be seen. But, I mean, it's Florida. We still got plenty of monsoons to come. So he might be practicing a couple more hurricanes, you know what I'm saying, coming up here. So we'll see what happens during training camp. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. Let's move forward to Xavier Howard. And we already know the situation that's going on with him. He wants more money. Some people feels like he deserves more money. Some people feel like he needs to wait until the rest of his guaranteed is up. All right, we get that part. The question is, do you think he's going to show up tomorrow?
Honestly, I think he has to show up. What is it, 50,000, 75,000 a day? 50? You throwing away $50,000 a day? I mean, obviously we're not, but is he throwing away $50,000 a day? That gets pretty expensive pretty fast, man. I don't see a world in which he can, not show up. If it's really about, partially it's about the money from, all the things that we've heard, all the videos we've seen, different podcasts here and there. He feels disrespected as well. So that plays into it. Is it really just about the principle? If it's about the principle, he might not show up. But if it's about the principle and the money, then he's probably going to show up. Are we going to get 100% X? Are we going to get the same X that we got last year? Probably not if he's feeling some type of way. But I think he has to show up because that's a lot of money to throw away, man. And I know he's about stacking chips and building for his future out after football.
Yeah. The man's going to be there. All right. He's going to be there. Plain and simple. 50K. Even if the team wanted to waive the fees, they can't. Like, you're not allowed anymore as a team to waive the penalty of not showing up to training camp. So he's going to be there. Plain and simple. He ain't losing $50,000 a day. All right. Now, could he troll Miami and possibly lose that first $50,000? Maybe, but eventually he'll show up. Eventually he'll show up. Maybe he takes that first bite. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take that first $50K just to show him I'm serious, and then I'm going to show up. Because when they start dipping in your pockets like that, you're going to show up. It's $50,000. All right, that's not a little bit of money.
That ain't a penny.
$50,000, that's a good amount of money. You showing up. If Aaron Rodgers, all right, now he's not part of our team, but let's go ahead and put that out here. If he is willing to show up not to lose $50,000, and he's probably more disrespected or feels probably more disrespected than X should feel,
right?
Then X is gonna show up.
Yeah, Deshaun showing up. Deshaun
showing up.
You know what I'm saying?
Deshaun put it out there that he ain't trying to lose 50,000. All right, he put that out there. And he's making way more money than X.
Facts.
So he's showing up. All right, and I believe the Dolphins knew he was going to show up. So really, the leverage that X has is not really there. All right, because if you're going to show up anyway, then you don't have a lot of leverage. All right, so whatever leverage he felt like he had. Now I heard that, and we got to move forward. But I heard that part of the reason why they're pushing for a new deal is because he has a new agent, and the agent doesn't really get to eat off of that old money. He only eats off of new money. So he's really trying to push this thing, the agent, so he can get a piece of the pie.
All right, I feel that.
X got like 4 years left. And I feel if I'm an agent, I'm feeling the same way. Hey, my guy needs a new contract because he had 10 interceptions. Because I need my money, you know. I need my 3.5% or 10%, whatever it is. I need that. Right. I need my bread. So that's part of it too. I'm sure that plays into it somehow, some way, because he has a new agent. But it is what it is. He still got guaranteed money left. Yes, he needs to be paid more money than where he's at, but he's going to have to wait for it.
The money thing is sad, but that's the NFL, man. And at the end of the day, some people are upset that he wants more money. But you got to strike when the iron's hot, bro. Like, you got to try to get yours when you can. If you can't, if you swing and miss, you swing and miss. But it's smart on him. It's a business decision to me for him to try to go after the money now. 10 interceptions you don't do 10 interceptions every year. You don't do it 10 interceptions every decade. So if you got a chance to try to squeeze the team for more change, try to squeeze him for more change. You know what I'm saying? Does he deserve a little more money? Absolutely, he deserves a little bit more money. But at the same time, he signed the contract he signed. So I understand both sides of it. But I do want to say this in X's defense: when you don't have a good season, they shake you down. Teams will shake you down. They'll restructure your contract real quick. So if you have a great season, it should be a little bit more compensation on the other side. Give him an incentivized deal. You know what I'm saying? He has to get 5+ interceptions, 6+ interceptions. Add a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Money, line his pockets a little bit more, depending on what he does this season, if he stays healthy. And I think that's a way that you can, bring him back to the fold a little bit.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Especially with incentives, production-based pay. You the more production you have, the more pay you get. And I'm for it. Because in that sense, you get to keep what you kill. That's it. You keep what you kill. And I'm with that. Now, if he has 2 interceptions and nobody's throwing his way, I'm going to look at that too. Maybe he has an Asamoah type season. Remember that year? He had 2 interceptions, still made the Pro Bowl because nobody was throwing over there.
He was
he might have a season like that. So, I'm with that too. As long as that passer rating is low, then that could be an incentive. Hey, maybe you got 2 interceptions, but the passer rating against you is 42%, So that's good too. We'll take it. But let's go ahead and move forward. Excited to talk about what's going to happen with the roster come the end of this whole training camp saga. Real interested in seeing what's going to happen. Let's start with the quarterbacks real quick. We got Tua, we got Jacoby, and we got Reed. All right, how you feeling about Tua, man? I know, and you just mentioned it a little bit, how you feeling about him. Now, by the way, y'all, this is going to be a long video, all right? It's going to be a long video because we're going to do offense, defense, special teams in this video. I ain't breaking it up. I'm not doing parts. We're doing the whole thing now, so it's going to be a long one for y'all.
Put this,
all right,
put
so
this
y'all
on,
gonna skip around,
on your lunch break.
do what you got to do.
Straight up. Turn this on your lunch break, or your car ride, whatever.
Yep. It's podcast style. Might as well be a podcast. It's about to be an hour long, possibly. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. How you feel about Tua?
I love Tua. I banged the table for Tua. Matter of fact, I had the same shirt on when we drafted him. I don't know if I was wearing it, but I had it with me. I was swinging it. Tua's my guy. I know TD like to call people that love Tua-neers. You can call me a Tua-neer. But I'm not, how do you call that? I'm not blind. I know, you know what I'm saying, that he needs work. You know what I'm saying? He's a work in progress. He didn't have a season that we would say he's the guy. He didn't have a season that we say he's not the guy. That's just where we're at with Tua. In many camps, he did some good. He had some bad. Much of like what we saw last year. So I'm excited to see some growth from him. I definitely want him to take a step forward. I do like that they brought in Jacoby. I think that was an important piece to bring in. You know what I'm saying? You never know what's going to happen with quarterbacks. I think he's a good stand-in quarterback. I don't think he's a starter material, but I like that we replaced Ryan Fitzpatrick with something that was decent. Reed, I don't know nothing about Reed like that. Reed might as well just be, you know what I'm saying, just a guy on the roster, man. But 1 and 2, I'm really excited about 1 and 2. I love watching Tua's progression throughout the offseason. He had a lot of videos, seeing him training with Perform and all that different type of things. It's been awesome. But now we just got to see it translate to the field. It's got to be on the field now. It's with no more videos, no more pictures, no more of that cute stuff. Training, looking diesel in pictures. We got to see it on the field now. It's time.
Yeah. I'm real excited about Tua. I see great things for Tua. I believe Tua is going to eventually be a Pro Bowl quarterback. Now, let's not make the same mistake we did last time of, having a quarterback on your team. You can't put it all around him, and then he moves on and becomes that Pro Bowl quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, that on other teams gets further on other teams than he got on your team because you couldn't put it all together. Now, let it be because Tua sucks is why we let go of him, not because we couldn't put it together around him.
Thanks.
All right? Give him the best offensive line. Give him the best wide receivers. Give him the best defense he can have so that there's no excuses. All right? There's no excuses whatsoever. Period. He has it all. He has everything he needs. It's on him to make plays or not, and then we find out what we got into it for real. All right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I feel like the offensive line is coming together. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. I feel like we have all the wide receivers in the world, all the weapons in the world. Tua has to step up. I'm not about giving Tua more than 2 years, all right? Really 1 year. If he has a horrible year, I'm ready to let go of the man already, all right? But if he has a decent season, I'm ready for a third year. If he has a decent season, cut him. All right, let him go. That's what I say because we got to move forward. We can't waste talent like we've done in past years. I believe in Tua. I think Tua's going to have a great year. I'm interested to see how he does as far as aggressive plays. We know that when he was making aggressive plays, he had 5 interceptions. And then the second day, he threw like 6 touchdowns. All right. So it was very inconsistent. We need consistency. We need him to hit the deep plays when they're there and to also take care of the football at the same time while also practicing. All right. Because you're in practice. You're going to try things, but we need you to try things and actually have success rather than failing when you're trying things. All right. So that's what I'm looking forward to see his progression, see him reading defenses. Things are going to be moving a little bit faster than they were in minicamp. Bodies will be flying around. He can't be hit, but he could be, he can feel pressure. All right. He'll be feeling the pressure because it'll be in his face. And I'm pretty sure that they'll try to speed up his time and not having him hold on to the ball too much either, especially in the red zone, because that was a problem in training camp. So hopefully he's fixed those things. Hopefully he's gotten a lot better. We know the accuracy is there. We know the anticipation can be there. And we know that he's one of the best when it comes to evading pressure.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the highest rated when it comes to evading pressure and against the blitz at that. So he has some strengths, but those weaknesses he's got to get better at so we can have the best year possible with Tua as our quarterback. Jacoby Brissette, he was my number 2 guy that I wanted in the offseason behind Alex Smith. When Alex Smith decided to retire, Jacoby was the next best thing anyway. All right. I wanted him because he was a young guy. He wasn't old like Fitz. No offense to Fitz, but the man couldn't throw in every practice. Like he couldn't do that. I read an article where Fitz actually didn't throw after he was benched. Like, well, I wouldn't say he was benched. Tua was more promoted than Fitz was benched because Fitz didn't do anything to get benched. They just moved on to Tua. He didn't throw. The man did not throw for the rest of the year. He let Reed Sinnett throw because and he had a good reason, but I mean, come on, like it's because his arm, he wanted to save it for
he needed to save it.
You know what I'm saying? He wanted to save it for whenever he needed to come back in because he knows if he throws every practice, his arm's going to die fast. All right. He said that, I'm wanted Reed to get some minutes or to get some practice time because I remember being that guy. That was one. And two, he was like, I want to know if I can come in after 5 years and still be able to throw the football cold turkey. So that was another reason he gave. Two good reasons. All right. One of them is a selfish reason, but the other one makes actual sense football wise. Yeah. So, I mean, I understand that, but we need a quarterback that can actually handle the amount of throwing in practice to help make these guys better. Brissette should be able to do that with no problem. Plus, he can step in if need be and help lead to some wins like he did with the Colts when Andrew Luck was like, I don't want to play no more. All right. So, I like those two guys. Reed, we're going to find out what we got in him. I don't know too much about the dude. All right. Let's move on to running backs. We got Myles Gaskins. We got Malcolm Brown. We have Savon Ahmed. We have Jared Dokes. We have Patrick Laird. Malcolm Perry, who they have as a wide receiver / running back, and then Jordan Scarlett. All right. Who is a surprise guy you think will make the squad?
Jared Dokes, man. Jared Dokes. I think this dude is hungry, bro. Like, he got a little YouTube channel, man. I follow him, man. The dude is hungry. I think he really wants it. Excuse if you hear screaming in the background. That's baby girl. She turned today. I don't know what's going on with her, but yeah, Jared Dokes. I think he's really hungry, man. Like, I think he's out to prove something that he can get out the mud. You know what I'm saying? Him and Jordan Scarlett. I think those two right there are going to surprise a lot of Dolphins fans. They're not what everybody talks about. Do I think they're going to start or anything like that? Probably not, unless there's injuries before them. We're not hoping for that, but you know how football is. But Jordan Scarlett and Jared Dokes, I got high hopes for those two. I think they're going to do something that we didn't see before. You know what I'm saying? That like Ronnie Brown type power style running. You know what I'm saying? That type of running that we're not used to anymore.
Okay. All right. Now, who do you think is going to surprisingly not make the team or just not make the team? Maybe it's not a surprise.
I like Patrick Laird. I think he does a lot of good things. I think he does a lot of good things for us. He's been on the roster for a little bit now, but I see more dogs on the roster than him at this position, man. Like, it's been a minute that he's been able to make the roster, but I think they brought in some dogs that he's probably not going to be on the roster moving forward. Patrick Laird's probably not going to be on the roster moving forward. I don't see how we're able to keep this many running backs. Obviously, you're not going to be able to keep all of them. You might find one or two of them on the practice squad. Malcolm Brown, I don't see how he doesn't make the roster as well. But anything can happen, obviously. But Savon is definitely going to be fighting with Scarlett and Dokes for that RB3 position, man, because it's a big room, kind of like the wide receiver and tight end room. All of our offensive rooms are pretty big, so there's going to be a lot of fights for those fringe positions.
All right, cool. Love Myles Gaskins. I believe he's making the squad. Love Malcolm Brown. I believe he's making the squad. The guy that I see making the team is Dokes. All right, I watched some of his film, just albeit on YouTube, so you only see the highlights. But I watched some of it. The man looks like a little bit slower Ronnie Brown to me. All right. That's what he reminds me of. Runs with power. Got a little bit of speed. Not that long speed, but that short burst speed. Yeah. Solid back. Can catch out of the backfield. Make some crazy catches in college. He's an all-around back. Can protect against the blitz. I believe he's going to make the squad. He's going to find a way to make the team, in my opinion. One of the guys I feel like that's going to get left out, Patrick Laird is a good name. He does so much on special teams, so it's hard to see if he's going to be left out or not. Dokes is going to have to make up
some special team
in that
area.
Too now. Yeah, so that's true. That's true. But Savon Ahmed, I believe he's going to be the odd man out. All right, he's one of the guys that made the team last year. I believe he might be one of those guys that gets cut. He's a lot like Savon, but they don't need two of Savon. All right. They need great backs, and he's a decent back, but they don't, not two of Savon. They don't need two of Myles Gaskins right now. I don't think that he's going to make the team if Dokes makes the team, if Perry makes the team. All right. I just feel like he's going to be the odd man out, unfortunately. Let's move over to wide receivers here. All right. We're not going to go over all the names. All right. We know Will Fuller is one of the new additions. Excited to see what he's able to do with Tua. All right. But let's go over who you feel has a chance to make the team and who you feel might be the odd man out.
This was a tough one, man. I'm not even going to front with you. I don't know what Miami is going to do in this area of the depth chart, man. But when you look at the bottom, you think about Matt Collins, who's a special teams demon. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you cut him? You know, he was that good. There's so many people that love Kirk Merritt. Malcolm Perry does a lot for you. Lynn Bowden showed a lot of promise last year. In the opportunities that he got, he was basically Tua's only target. You know what I'm saying? Besides Gesicki, when Gesicki was on the field, it's a hard room, man. Honestly, to me, the person that's got to show the most is Preston Williams. He's got to show the most. You know what you're getting out of Devontae Parker, okay? You already know what you're getting out of him. Will Fuller, you know what you're going to get out of Will Fuller. Will Fuller is a separation monster. That's what he did last year, you know what I'm saying, when he was healthy. You got Jalen. Jalen automatically is going – you already know he's going to be on the squad. Lynn Bowden, to me, showed enough. Albert Wilson, Jakeem Grant, and Preston Williams are the ones that need this training camp. They gonna have to show it. Jakeem got to show that he can catch the ball. Like that's just plain and simple, bro. Can you catch the ball when we throw it to you? Can you make the catches? But Preston Williams has been injured every season. You know what I'm saying? He's been injured every season. Now he usually dominates camp, but is he gonna do that this year? Because this room is the room is stacked. The room is I don't even know. I'm looking at Isaiah Ford, Allen Hurns, Robert Foster. How does Robert Foster not make the squad as well? You know, you picked them up, but I don't even know what this room, man. To be completely honest, I just know Devontae, if he's still here and doesn't get traded, Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle, and I'm gonna go with Lynn Bowden for my top four. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's why I'm gonna go with my top four. Preston Williams is probably in that five because I believe in Preston Williams. He just hurt all the time, man, and almost on nothing on air. People say Christian Wilkins, but come on, bro, like the man be hurt too much, man.
All right, so who do you think is like just not making the team?
Not making the team. Kurt Merritt's not making squad. Kyle Loxley's not making squad. Allen Hurns and Isaiah Ford, long shots.
Okay.
Long shots. You know what I'm saying? Right. Robert Foster got a better chance than all those cats, to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But there's at least 4 or 5 of those guys that we know they're not going to be in Dolphins uniforms like next year, man. Or this year, you should say.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be a little more definitive with mine. Just Jakeem Grant, you're not making the team, bro. All right, like there's absolutely no way Jakeem Grant makes the team if they have anybody else that can catch punts. Like he's not making the team. Jakeem Grant is not making the team. I said it here first. Y'all hear it straight from me. The man has no chance of making the team. Now, whether they trade him for a 6th or 7th round pick, or whether they just cut him outright, the man's not making the squad. Like, it's just way too much. It's way too many guys on here that's got to make the team for us to be worried about Jakeem Grant making the squad. Like, if anybody else can catch punts, like literally anybody else. No, if anybody else can catch punts, your boy's gone. Like, he's gone. That's right? And almost definitively say that right now. He's my surprise cut. All right, he's not making the team. When it comes to making the squad, man, I don't see how you leave out Lynn Bowden. You can try to overlook him if you want. I don't see how he gets left off the team.
He's a dog.
I believe, man, he is. I believe Robert Foster's going to make the team. But Lynn Bowden, if you're not going to keep, what's his name? If you're not going to keep Albert Wilson, which he has a great chance of making this team too. Let's not forget about the man. He is a yak machine, and that's what we need. He can take a slant, and he can go 80 with it. All right? Lynn Bowden's the same type of guy. If you're not going to keep Albert Wilson, then you got to definitely keep Lynn Bowden. You have to. Like, you absolutely have to.
I think he's shiftier than Albert. Two.
He is shiftier and he's younger. All right, and he might not be as fast because Albert Wilson in his heyday, that's a fast
that
brother.
Man be scooting, bro.
yeah, that's a fast dude right there. He's real fast. He might not be as fast, but he's close, and he's very shifty. He can catch. He can play out the backfield the same way. He's a Albert Wilson clone, pretty much. He's just a younger Albert Wilson. I believe he makes the team. I'm not gonna say he's a shoe-in because you just never know. You don't know what's gonna happen. This is whoever has to make this decision on wide receivers.
Man,
that's the toughest decision that they're gonna have to deal
with.
Him a raise. There's a lot of good guys here. Like they almost have too many good guys.
Yeah.
Like when they picked up Isaiah Ford, like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Why did you even pick him up?
Unless somebody's getting traded.
Right, 2 or 3 guys are getting traded, maybe. I don't know because you got guys you can actually get picks for, like for real.
Yeah,
like you could get a second, maybe not a second. You can get a third for Devontae. You can get a third for him. Like it might be a low third, but you can get a third for him.
Preston can get you some picks.
Preston could probably get you a 4th or a 5th. Jakeem could get you a 6th or a 7th. Like Albert Wilson, maybe not because if he doesn't show anything in training camp, they're just gonna think he's damaged goods. But man, this is a tough one. It's a tough one. Robert Foster, I don't see how he doesn't make the team because apparently he was showing some things in minicamp.
Yeah.
And then you have Lynn Bowden, which I don't see how he doesn't make the team either. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Everybody else, we already know Devontae, Will Fuller, their shoe-ins. Preston, he could have been the guy I was talking about with Jakeem Grant. Because as bad as Jakeem Grant was playing last year, this man was just absent. All right, he wasn't there. All right, Preston Williams was nowhere to be found. He has a lot of talent, can't stay healthy. Your best ability is availability. We both know that. The man hasn't been available, so he might be on his way out too. But Jakeem, I just don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Yeah,
Let's move on to tight end. All right, we know that at least 3 guys will be on the squad: Mike Gesicki, Hunter Long, and Adam Shaheen. Because Adam Shaheen got a contract, they're going to be on the team. All right, I don't think they carry more than 4. So who's that other guy that you think is going to make the squad?
Durham's probably the odd man out. Shaheen is probably in. It looked like I think we just got another tight end actually. If I wasn't tripping, I think I read that Jabri Blunt is out, and we picked up another tight end.
Okay.
So we added some different tight end into the fold. So it's to me, it's looking top 3 is looking like Gesicki, Long, and Shaheen. And that's what I've been hearing all offseason, and that's what looks more than likely. Durham Smythe and Shaheen, they're the same guy. They're the same guy. I mean, for the most part, they're the same guy. They can block, they can run routes pretty well. Now, if that video I seen of Mike Gesicki running routes looked a lot better than what I've been seeing last year, but I don't know if that was just camera tricks. We'll see what he does. But I love Gesicki. He's not a traditional tight end, of course, but I think he's amazing for what he does. Hunter Long, you know what I'm saying? You got a guy that can do both things. He actually led tight ends in receptions last year above who Atlanta drafted. I forget his name right now. I wanted him, but I tried to erase him and the Steelers guy out of my memory, the running back out of my memory.
Yeah, you're talking about Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts and Najee Harris. I don't even want to think about them 2 men, honestly. But yeah, Mike Gesicki, Hunter Long, Shaheen. I don't know too much about Ethan Carter at all.
They did sign him to like a 2 or 3 year deal in the offseason. So they gave him some commitment. Now, I don't know if he's an H-back, like maybe he's playing a little fullback. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
how do you keep all those guys? You can't keep all those
money.
guys. You can't keep all those guys. And then you just pulled in another body. You got rid of Blunt and you pulled in another body. We'll see. Myerick, probably a special teams guy, but it's again, our offensive, you know what I'm saying, rooms they're full, you know what I'm saying? And you can make an argument for anybody, honestly, but it's looking like Gesicki, Long, and Shaheen.
Yep. And I'm going to agree with those 3. I think Durham Smythe is going to be the odd man out unless Shaheen just actually drops the ball, because if they're even, they already gave won a contract. Durant. Durham is already on his way out because he doesn't have an extension. They'll keep Shaheem, move on from him. And I believe Carter's going to find a way to make the team if he does well. All right. I'm sure they didn't give him a lot of money. So whatever they gave him, they'll cut their losses on. But they did sign him for a reason. They're going to give him every opportunity to make the team. So if he produces, he'll be there.
Background?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, okay. He's the one. He's the one. So I believe that actually, no, it might not be him. It might be Chris with that basketball background.
Okay. One of them
actually, it might be Chris. I believe Chris they signed in as an undrafted free agent.
Okay.
I think it's him. But anyway, I believe Carter makes the team. Long as a shoe-in, Gesicki and Shaheem are my 4 guys I'm rolling with. All right, let's talk about offensive line. All right. We'll just talk about offensive line as a whole. So we'll look at everybody. Who do you feel like is going to be the starting center? Matt Skura or Michael Dieter?
I think it has to be Skura. Skura has way more. That makes me queasy. in old terms, that makes me queasy. But I think it's got to be Skura. Skura has the most experience at that position. He's done it longer. He's done it at a high level. We can't take that away from him. Although last time we saw him on the field, man, it was shaky. But I think he knows what he's doing. He knows how to make the calls. It's just, can he regain his Pro Bowl level form? Because he really was that. He was solid. You know, he was pretty good. Can he regain that form? Is he still haunted by them demons of snapping the ball, man? You just hope not. I honestly, in terms of talking about O-line and D-line to me are more important than Tua this year. I know a lot of people would like to say, oh, it's all about Tua. Tua's second-year jump. Second-year jump from Austin Jackson, Robert Hunt, and Solomon Kindley are more important than what Tua can do in his second year. Like that, to me, them progressing in their second year is going to make Tua's progression in his second year easier. If they don't have progression in their second year, Tua's progression is going to be a lot harder because those are the guys that are, you know what I'm saying, blocking for him, that are protecting him. So the offensive line, can we pass block? Can we run the ball? Defensive line, can we stop the run? And can we get after the quarterback? Those are more important to me than Tua's jump. But looking at the offensive line, I think if those guys make a progression, we're going to have a solid offensive line. We're going to have a very solid offensive line. Is it going to be the unicorns? It's not going to be the unicorns. But it's going to be steady. It's going to be solid. If Matt Skura can just bring in the veteran leadership that he has in his back pocket and get the snapping intact, we good. Yeah, and I like Fluker. Just to add, I like Fluker. I like the pickup of Fluker. I like the I always love Jesse Davis. I'm not too sure about Liam Eichenberg. I don't know too much about him. We'll see what he does. Larnell Coleman is a pretty big dude. We'll see what he adds to the squad as well. But in this position, I believe we brought in all the right pieces. It's just, will they pan out?
Right. And then this one is a little harder to predict because you just need 5 guys that work well together. And I'm sure they're going to do a lot of plugging in and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. On this depth chart that I'm looking at, they have Michael Dieter at left guard starting. And we know that that's not going to happen. At left guard, we're probably looking at either Jesse Davis, possibly, or we're looking at Solomon Kindley, probably being there, but definitely not Michael Dieter. Dieter is more working at center, I believe, as either a backup or as a starter. When it comes to right tackle, that's going to be the big debate. Who's going to start at right tackle? Is it going to be Robert Hunt? Is it going to be DJ Fluker? Or is it going to be Liam Eichenberg? I think that it's going to be Liam Eichenberg. I'm hoping that that's who it is because he is a natural right tackle, and that's what they drafted him to be, the blind side of Tua. So I'm hoping that he can protect Tua's blind side, and then we have a lot of good depth after him. And then maybe they can swing Robert Hunt back inside. I don't know. Maybe he's lost a little weight. I know Solomon is even bigger than he is, but he is more suited, Robert Hunt is, to be a tackle than to be a guard. So we'll see what happens. Love Jesse Davis. I wouldn't mind for him to be the left guard even, or the right guard. He could play either side. So we'll see what happens with the tackle. Once we find out what happens with the tackle, then I think everything else will fall right in place. Right. And that's why I think it's going to be when it comes to that.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what they put together in terms of that. All the reports on the offseason sound like Robert Hunt's moving back to guard. So I think it's mainly going to fall on Eichenberg's shoulders to, win that right tackle job. And Fluker didn't do too bad a job with the Seahawks covering up the right side for what's his name, Russell Wilson. So we'll see what he does. He does get a lot of penalties though. I've seen quite a few Seahawks games, and Fluker likes to get penalties. So we'll see about that.
All right. Let's move on to defensive line.
Ooh.
All right. Defensive line, there's not many guys that they have on this list that won't make the squad. It looks like everybody on here, maybe outside of Jerome Johnson, would make the team. And maybe Tashawn Render, I don't know too much about him. Really don't. I don't even know who that is, to be honest. But maybe we'll find out who he is come in a couple of days. Maybe he'll start making some plays, and then his name will be a little more known. Christian, he's going to make the squad. Davis is making the team. John Jenkins, I don't know too much about him. I know he's a big body. I do know that. We are going to need a nose tackle-like guy. Davis is not a true nose tackle. He's more of a left or right end in the 3-4 defense. So it's either going to be between John Jenkins or Benito Jones to see who's going to be that nose tackle. And we're probably only going to keep one because we're not going to play a lot of traditional 3-4 because we're a multiple team.
Right.
Sealer's making the squad. We know that. Butler is another guy you could try to swing into the nose tackle position. He could hold that down. And then you got Jason Strobridge. We got to see what he's capable of in his second year. And then Ledbetter, we got to see what he's about too. So, we got a couple guys. We just really need guys that can get to the quarterback on occasion because it's really going to come from the outside linebackers. But get to the quarterback on occasion and hold up on the run. That's what we need. Guys that can hold up on the run and shed blocks so they can get to the running back. We need that.
Yeah.
Badly.
Yeah, man. Play your technique, fortify the line, hold the guys up to allow the linebackers room to get through gaps, to shoot gaps, to get where they need to be able to see what's going on with the plays, man. Those guys got to be – the effort's got to be, on another level than it was last year, man. I'm looking for, I'm looking for way more from Christian Wilkins. To be completely honest, where we drafted him at, you know what I'm saying? I love Christian Wilkins. I love his energy. Besides him injuring people, for jumping on people for touchdowns, I love Christian Wilkins. I love the energy that he brings. I just need more production. You know what I'm saying? I need, and it's not about stats. I'm not even asking about stats. I'm not saying he needs more sacks or tackles for losses. He needs to get the invisible stuff. You know what I'm saying? The invisible stuff where it's like, if Christian Wilkins didn't do this on this play, it wouldn't have panned out. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that's the type of talent we drafted him to be, but he hasn't shown that yet, like throughout the entire season. I think he's shown it in spurts at times, but he hasn't been, dominant at that position. He may be playing out of scheme because he's not that. He's not a natural. He doesn't seem like he's natural for the 3-4. More so probably a second defensive tackle type person, like a 4-3 type of defensive lineman. But this is the scheme he's in. You know what I'm saying? I know they're going to put him in position to win. That's what Brian Flores likes to do. So he got to eat, man. He got to eat.
And I agree. He's one of the guys. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Raekwon Davis could do, especially if they move him out to end, which that's been a rumor. If they move him out to end, that man, he was a problem. I don't think people understand how much of a problem he was in the second half of the year. Beast. He got to the All-Pro rookie team because of the second half of the season.
Beast.
Like, he didn't hit no wall. He broke through a wall and started killing guys. Like he was really manhandling guys by himself. The man is an absolute physical specimen. Hopefully he can put it all together and start getting to the quarterback. All right, because that's what we need. If he can come out to end, he can have a little more one-on-ones, and then he can start getting to the quarterback. And we need some help in that area. God knows we do.
Yeah,
God knows we do. Let's move on. And Zach Sealer, I'm really looking forward to seeing if he can take the next step as well.
Facts.
Let's talk about linebackers.
I just to quickly jump on that. I like the Adam Butler pickup too, man. When we played the Patriots, he flashed all the time. Like he flashed all the time on the screen. I think that was a great pickup. Godchow, we know Godchow left, which actually opened the door for Raekwon to do what he did in the second half of the season, to step in. But Adam Butler is a solid pickup. I think he's going to help shore up the run a little bit as well, and just be productive on the field because that's what he did for the Patriots. He was very productive.
Yeah, I agree. Now, this is where our pass rush should come from with guys like Van Ginkel, Jalen Phillips, and Vince Beagle, Sam McGuavin, probably not, and the new pickup, Shaquille Griffin, all right, who I'm really, really high on, by the way, really high on him. How do you feel about Shaquem? Let's talk about him. And by the way, it's not Shaquem, guys, all right? I heard that a few times, all right? It's not Shaquem, it's Shaquem, all right?
Shaquem,
so let's go ahead and fix that. I'll fix it for y'all now. You heard it from me. It's Shaquem Griffin, not Shaquem. All right.
That's
so
horrible.
Yeah.
Shaquem, man, I'm actually excited about this pick. He's a dog. I like dogs, man. That's my thing. I like dogs, man. The Jarvis Landry type. You know what I'm saying? Guys that just like to get after it. They love the game. They'll do it for free. You know what I'm saying? And I think Shaquem is that type of player. You know what I'm saying? He's the type of player that he wants to get it out the mud. He's feisty. Him and his brother, both of them, Shaquem and Shaquille, they're both dogs. And I like the energy that Shaquem is getting ready to bring. I already know he's going to me, just off the strength of what he brings to special teams, he's going to make the squad. Now, I must say, we got a good friend that is a Seahawks fan. I did watch several Seahawks games last year, and for the last couple of years, I should say. And he wasn't great when he was on the field in defense. He wasn't great. They might have been asking him to do a lot more than he should be doing. They had him in coverage a lot. Maybe that's not his forte, but they did ask him to cover a lot, take over for KJ Wright a lot. Take over. I don't know if that's where he should be at. He probably is better suited where we got him at speed rushing off the edge. Let's not forget the man ran at what, a sub 4.4?
4.38.
Why can he be a coverage linebacker? I don't know. Has he grown in that area? Possibly. But a sub 4.4 is kind of crazy for a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's DB speed. So get him in the right place, get him in the right scheme, and I think you might see, you know what I'm saying, him do he might be able to help the defense a lot. Definitely on special teams. I already know he's going to be a demon on special teams.
Right. And I don't know for sure how it would work, but common sense would tell me you probably have him rush off of the right side than the left side because he is right. I don't know if he's right hand dominant, but he's missing a hand on his left side, so his arm isn't as developed as his right. So maybe when it comes to pass rush, I don't know. Maybe on the left side. Because you're ripping on the right with the right hand on the left side. So maybe the left side would probably be his best side where he can actually get a good rip and swim and get around, or maybe it's the other side. I don't know how that would work technically, but one side is better for him than the other for sure because he's a little weaker. You can see his arm definition isn't as strong on his left hand or on his left side as it is on his right side. So whichever side is going to be best for him, they need to put him on that side, and I would just let him rush the quarterback. That's it. I would let him drop back in occasion because he does have speed, but I would let him mostly handle rushing the passer, and let's see how that works first and foremost because that's what we need help at, and he's a super fast guy. He can help us in that area. So that's what I would want to see from him. I do believe he will make the team. Given the chance to prove himself, I think he's going to make the squad. All right, that might push some other guy out, but I believe he's going to make the squad. And I also believe there's another guy that I was looking, Duke Riley. I believe Duke Riley's making the team too. Those two guys. So Lennon Roberts, he's going to have to step his game up. Sam McGuavin, I think he's gone. I don't think that Sam is going to make the squad. All right, so a couple of these guys, they got to step their game up for real because it's not looking good. It's not, especially for Sam McGuavin, it's not looking good because what Sam McGuavin is supposed to be doing, Shaquille is probably going to be doing. All right, and that's the guy that's going to have to step up, or he's going to get his spot taken by Shaquille. So Sam, he's going to have to really, really show himself. I'm ready to see what Bernardrick can do with the squad, and Jerome's got to take the next step. It's about that time.
Yep,
it's really about that time. Yeah, he got that money, so now he needs to step up. Jalen Phillips, really excited, of course, to see what he could do. This whole unit right here, I'm really excited for, and I'm really happy to see what they can do because I believe that if they are right, then everybody else can do their job the best possible way. Because if they can help stop the run, because we played a lot of 3-4, so a lot of them will be on the ends as well, rushing the passer and holding up on the run. All right, and you got Jerome possibly and Bernardrick on the inside. All right, so these guys are going to have to do their job at a high level for the defense to work the way it needs to work.
Yeah, for sure. I need to see Jerome Baker blitzing more too, man. I think that's one of his strong suits. I don't think we'd use him enough in that area. Jerome's got to be blitzing a lot more. Vince Beagle, I'm ready to see because when they drafted Andrew Van Ginkel, he wasn't as developed as he is now, man. Like Vince Beagle was holding it down on that side and Andrew stepped in and was doing this thing last year. So AVG, we're gonna see what he does. Vince got to have some fire because there's a lot of people ahead of him that did it, that were there last year. You got the rookie Jalen Phillips. You already know what he's about. We watched him in Miami with the Hurricanes. He's a dog himself. And then you got Emmanuel Ogbah, who was steady last year. You know what I'm saying? Can he produce pressure though without blitzes? That's the one main question on Emmanuel Ogbah. That's what we're gonna see this year, and he might be able to pick up some change if he's able to do that.
Yep. Let's move on to DBs. Ooh. Man, we got a lot of DBs too. It's a lot of them.
The team is stacked.
It's a lot of them. Now, it's not as stacked as wide receivers, but it is a good amount.
The whole team is stacked. It's crazy.
I'm going to go ahead and start off this thing and say Nick Needham, he better come correct. All right, because they got some slot guys that they brought in that can do that thing. All right, they can really do it. All right, we got Jamal Perry. That's going to be on the squad. We got Justin Coleman. All right, that can vie for that. And when I say I'm going to be on the squad, it's just that they are going to be vying for that slot position. So Jamal Perry is going to be vying for it. Nick Needham, Justin Coleman, those are the guys going to be vying for that inside spot. Only probably one of them making the team. Let's be honest. All right, only one of those guys are making the team because Jason McCourty's going to be on the squad. Byron's going to be on the squad. X is going to be on the squad. Noah Igbinoghene is going to be on the squad. Thanks. All right, so that means that you're going to get Nick Needham or Justin Coleman and probably another guy, and that's it. Yeah. All right, one of those two guys, probably another guy, and that's it. If they keep 6, and they'll probably only keep 5, to be honest.
I don't know, man. Flores loves he loves corners. He loves corners. He loves DBs, period, but he loves corners.
He does, but now you got 6 wide receivers you might have to keep.
The roster is going to be tough to shake down, honestly, because the whole team is stacked. But the way this man loves DBs and loves to bring in DBs, Nick Needham and Justin Coleman got a great shot of being on the team together with the top 4.
They might, but you got to remember we still got safeties, and some of those guys can play slot. Eric Rowe can play slot. Brandon Jones can play slot. It's a problem.
Yeah, Brandon Jones can't play slot.
We do need to see Noah Igbinoghene take that next step, though. Because if he has to be called upon, he can't get murdered like he did when Jones left against the Buffalo Bills. And he got a whooping. by Stephon Diggs. Like Stephon Diggs took him back to the woodshed and just destroyed that man and destroyed his confidence for almost the rest of the year just off that game. So if injuries happen, he got to be able to step in. He been doing work. I watched a video on him where he was practicing with I can't remember who the other corner was, but X was there. X was one of the guys that was there. And he was practicing. He was trying to get better. So hopefully he could do his thing. Hopefully Byron Jones could do his thing as well, because you're getting paid all this money. Part of the reason why X is mad is because you're getting way more than him. You need to start looking like it. All right, you need to start making plays and start doing your thing and not getting roasted either on deep touchdowns like you were last year. So he's got to do a little better. Even X got to get better. X has to get better on the short and intermediate stuff. Deep ball, we're not too worried about. We're not too worried about that. Right. And he's going to bait you, so he's going to lose some to gain some. We understand that, but he can clean up his technique a little bit. But usually in practice, he doesn't have any problems because we don't hear anything about Devontae Parker when in practice in training camp when X is on him. So he's usually doing his thing.
Yeah, that man disappeared.
He's locking him up.
Got to put an APB out for Devontae Parker when it's training camp.
For sure. All right, when it comes to
Javon.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm excited about Javon Holland, man. I think this is, I know saying his name is like saying Candyman, but I think this is Minkah Fitzpatrick 2.0, man. Honestly, not necessarily in style of play or anything like that, but the attempt to have somebody that is a Swiss Army knife that can do everything on defense. I think that's what Brian Flores has been wanting. I think that's why Javon Holland was drafted, is to be the guy that is willing to eat whatever is on his plate. Whatever they put on his plate, he's willing to eat it. Minkah wasn't willing to do that. It hurts me that he wasn't, because I was so happy when we drafted him. I think it was the right pick. I still think it was the right pick. I don't think they should have traded him, but that's neither here nor there. But I think Javon Holland is the second coming of that, and I think he's going to be really willing and ready to eat whatever they put on his plate. So if that means the slot, he's going to be in there. If that means in the box, he's going to be in there. If that means single high, he's going to be there. If that means left or right, he's going to be there. Free, strong, it doesn't matter. I think he's the kind of guy. He's smart. He's athletic. He's a ball hawk. He has some speed. I think he's going to be the guy that is a Swiss Army knife, plays everywhere on the defense, asked to do a lot, and is successful at, doing those things. I'm really excited to see what he brings to the squad.
Me too. I'm really excited for him and for Brandon Jones.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see how he progresses. Yeah, because he didn't do too bad last year. He wasn't great, but he didn't do too bad. I believe he was in corner, safety, some of the hardest positions to learn. All right, and some of the hardest positions to play as a rookie, because there's a lot of nuances wide receivers have, tight ends have. They're a lot more freakish than they used to be back in the day as well, especially when it comes to tight ends. Maybe not wide receiver wise, but tight end wise, they're a lot more freakish than they used to be back in the day. You're playing defense. You're running backwards, guarding a guy running full speed at you. That's not easy.
Right.
That's not easy. And it takes time to learn that. It takes time to learn the nuances of what the looks are on offense, especially as a safety, because sometimes you just got to guess right. And that's what Rashard Jones was really good at. He was good at guessing right. Yeah. All right. Now, sometimes he would guess wrong.
Leaving his man hanging out to dry.
Yeah. Sometimes he was guessing wrong too, but he would guess right, especially in the box. So Brandon Jones, love to see what he does this year. Eric Rowe, we know what he's going to bring. He's just got to bring it a little better when it comes to the elite guys. But everybody else, he did a good job. And when I say elite guys, it's not like he didn't do a good job against the guys like Kittle. He did a great job against Kittle. He shut Kittle down. But when it comes to the fast, route running,
athletic
guys, because Kittle's not as athletic as Kelsey and Waller for sure. Right. He's not as athletic as those two guys. And it showed against Eric Rowe, because Eric Rowe got ate up. He got ate up by both. More so Kelsey than Waller, but Waller killed him by sunning him. He was there, but he couldn't get the ball. He was there, but he could not get the ball.
Yeah, man.
Right. Yeah. He just sunned him. Straight sunned him. Kelsey, he just couldn't touch Kelsey. Kelsey was wide open on some of his.
Yeah.
Like Kelsey he was just straight up wide open. And Kelsey is the best route running tight end we got. So I'm not mad at him for it. I'm not mad at him for it. It's not like Javon Holland will be able to come in there game one against Kelsey and shut him down either. All right. He's a lot younger. He's faster, but Kelsey's just a different animal. So we got to try our best against those guys. I'm not too mad at Rowe for it. In the moment I was, but after looking at it, you can't be too mad because
the man was there.
If you're telling me that he's going to win 80% of his reps, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I can't be mad at that 20%. Yeah,
he had the coverage. He was just getting outmanned. But he gets his chance at a rematch with Waller. So we'll see what he does. He said he circled the calendar for that one. So let's see what he brings.
Yeah, let's definitely see what he brings. All right. So that pretty much wraps it up. We got guys like Nick Hawley. I'm not too sure who that is. Trill Williams. They're saying that they're really high on him. He might make the squad. If Trill Williams makes the squad, then like I was saying about Jamal Perry and some of these other guys, they're not making the team, bro. Like they're just not making the team.
Nah.
Nick Needham, Javaris Davis, like these guys, they're not making the squad. Somebody's going to get left out of this bunch. Maybe a good two of them are going to get left out of this bunch because some of these guys, they can play safety and corner. They can play both sides.
Right.
And then special teams is going to really factor into all this as well because if you can't play special teams and you're on the fringe, you out of there. You out of there. So you got to be able to play special teams. And we know that Brian Flores takes special teams serious. All right. Yeah. He takes it very, very serious. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Wednesday, I believe that news will start rolling in. Tomorrow, I think they're just going in, doing physicals, making sure that they pass their conditioning test and stuff like that. And then on Wednesday, they get into it. Albeit, they're not going to have on pads or anything like that. I think you got to wait 3 full practices before you can have pads on. And really, at that point, you're just in shells. And then you got to wait like 2 or 3 more days before you can have full pads on. So I think it's a full 7 days before you can have full contact. So we're going to hear some things, but we're not going to really get to the fullness of it until about a week in. But I still can't wait. Wednesday can't come fast enough to start reading some mini camp reports. I can't wait. And then, of course, we'll bring that news to you guys, man. We'll bring that news to y'all, man. Appreciate you coming on, bro. Of course, we'll talk. We'll have you on again throughout the season, probably right before the season to close out minicamp, not close out minicamp, close out training camp, right? Close out training camp and the preseason games because we actually have preseason games this year, thank God, to see how the team went, to see how it's looking for the season, and then probably make some predictions as well. At that point, I have an idea of what I'm thinking the season is going to look like record-wise, but let's wait till training camp is over, and then we can actually make a full assessment on that, on how we feel. All right, really appreciate it. I'll see y'all later on with some more videos. If anything pops off with Deshaun Watson, I doubt it. Or X, of course, you'll hear about it from your boy as well. All right, y'all already know what it is. Fins up till we die, man. We bleed aqua and orange. Real quick, before I go, you seen those jerseys, those gray jerseys?
I like those, man. I think them things are hard.
Fire.
Yeah, I like those, man. I like those gray jerseys.
Man. Hey, Dolphins, man, do something about that.
Yeah, if they would have put a gray face mask on them joints too.
Yeah, get some gray jerseys going, man. The black ones, I mean, we could take or leave those, especially in Miami. It'd be hot. But them gray joints pretty official.
Yeah, they went hard. They went hard.
I like those.
Also, quick shout out, Jalen. I seen Jalen Waddle's top rookie wide receiver in Madden.
Yes.
And I seen they hooked him up with like a 97 speed or something like that.
97 speed. Oh, I'm going to love that. I play with them in Madden, so I'm going to really love that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
97 speed. Now, Henry Ruggs came in with a 98, so they're saying that Waddle is a little slower than Henry Ruggs, but I don't know. According to him, it's even. So
According to their teammates, Waddle's faster than Ruggs. According to the teammates,
right. But Madden doesn't feel that way.
The wide receiver teammates picked Waddle. They say Waddle's faster than Ruggs. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. As fast as the man was running with a ankle issue and a limp. Right. I don't know. We'll see, but we'll holler at you guys later.
All right.